These 9 investments didn't just grow my bank account, they gave me my time, freedom, and purpose. And anyone, and I mean anyone, can access these too. First one I'll talk about is lending. When I was a financial advisor, I didn't know there was anything outside the stock market. But once I started to realize there's this whole other world of real estate investing, which I thought was just buying a rental, guess what? That wasn't it. In fact, I could actually become the bank. I could lend my money to those real estate investors doing all the hard work for me, and I get paid a contractual return, usually in the double digits. Wait a minute, are you saying that if I have $100,000 that I lend you, you pay me 1% a month? That means I get paid $1,000 a month or $12,000 a year? That's awesome, and that's contractual? I can't get that with the stock market. Even though people claim you can get 12%, the truth is you never know what you're getting at the stock market. You can make more or you can lose money in the stock market. But here, I'm getting actual income coming in from that money. Now, the second one is another L word, but it's not lending, it's land. Raw land, dirt. You can get filthy dirt rich by investing in land. Now, I will tell you this from firsthand experience. Investing in land by yourself can be very tough. It requires a lot of education, a lot of time, and a lot of really experience to make that work. However, what I did in my case is rather than trying to learn it myself, I found somebody who already knew how to do it. And I said, listen, let's do a partnership together where I'll finance all the investments, you do the work, and we'll split the profits. We'll split the proceeds. And that's what we've done. We've invested about $500,000, and guess what? This land is cash flowing me over $12,000, $13,000 a month. Now this third one, this might throw you off a little bit, but this third one, I actually did a podcast here on this channel, so subscribe to this channel. But we did a podcast talking about my best investment of 2024. And you know what it was? It was hypnotherapy. You might be thinking, wait, what? Chris, are you just trying to bait and switch me here? What's going on? No. I'm telling you, because the strategies I teach here about real estate investing, alternative investments, and things like that are actually simple. But what usually gets in the way is this, your mind. Your mind gets in the way. And so for me, this last year, hypnotherapy not only led to more happiness and joy, holding more boundaries in my relationships and things like that, but it also allowed me to break free of some of my limiting beliefs that also really helped me break limits on the amount of income and the things I could earn on my own investments. And so even though you might think hypnotherapy is kind of an airy-fairy thing, if you have the right hypnotherapist, I will tell you it was well worth the investment for me to help me make literally hundreds of thousands of more dollars, all because of the thousands I might have spent on that to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. I have not had a real estate investment that's paid me as much money as what I earned from hypnotherapy. Now this next one, it kind of goes along the same lines that it's something that doesn't require money out of pocket. It's what Tony Robbins would call the hour of power. There's also the miracle morning or morning ritual, some kind of morning routine that you do each and every day. I call it the power hour, and here's what I do in the morning routine. I focus on the 3 E's: exercise, education, and enlightenment. It doesn't have to be an hour. It could literally be a matter of minutes each morning. But when I wake up each morning, I get my body moving first. That's exercise. I don't care what it looks like for you. Even though I run marathons, which by the way, that happened because I've been doing power hours every morning for the last really almost 20 years now. Anything to get your blood pumping a little bit more to wake your body up. Then you move into the next one with education, right? Can you feed your mind with things? Hey, following this channel, plenty of stuff you can educate your mind on, right? You can do that as part of the education to help you become a better investor and a better, really financially free person. And then, of course, the last one, enlightenment, which is what is that spiritual connection you do? Connecting with yourself, with your deity or God or whoever it might be, or with the universe. However you do that. It could be meditation, it could be journal writing, it could be prayer or reading your scriptural texts or things like that. Whatever it might be, those things help build your spirit, build your mind, and build your body. That, I will tell you, helped me through the hardest financial times I was ever through. And if it weren't for that power hour, I would not have pulled out of a really big financial woe and really low in my life, right? It was all because I was able to get my mind in the right place, and then I could problem solve more efficiently. All right, now let's get back to some financial things again. This fifth one right here, right, is max ROI infinite banking. Now this does not mean you buy literally a bank. This is actually using whole life insurance, but not any whole life insurance. Don't buy the traditional crap that you just buy from your State Farm agent, because Jake at State Farm does not know how to do this in his khaki pants. Max ROI Infinite Banking is a very specifically designed one. Now, you can actually look up on our website at moneyripples.com more information about this, but here's the cool thing. If you can imagine this, that you have this tax-free, high-yield savings account that you can access whenever you want. It counts as an asset when you want it to count, like if you're trying to get a loan from the bank. It doesn't count as an asset if you ever get sued. It actually is protected from lawsuits and creditors, And here's the cool thing. When you invest with it, you can actually make money in 2 places at the same time. You can actually double dip on your money. So that's one of the cool things you do with Max ROI Infinite Banking. I have other videos on this channel about that. You can go deeper in or just go visit moneyripples.com on that one. All right, the 6th one, oil investments. Now, I'm not just talking about drilling for oil, although that's included too, but oil investments can actually be a great way to diversify your portfolio. If you're in stocks, maybe you're even in real estate too, oil can actually be real estate backed, but also have the ability to make money from commodity prices like oil prices, which by the way, lately haven't been great. But you can still cash flow on that each and every month. I've actually got money in different oil partnerships that allow me to create income, and I get tax benefits from it too, which is really cool. By the way, if you're kind of wondering like, how much passive income could I be creating? Go to our website, moneyripples.com. There's a passive income calculator, and you can actually just see the link below. There's a passive income calculator. You can actually try out to see how much passive income you could create in the next 12 months. So be sure to try that right now. All right, the 7th one, gold or silver. Right now, I didn't put Bitcoin in here, although that could be included, but I'll tell you, gold and silver is amazing because I use this, I call this Powell insurance, as in Jay Powell, you know, the Fed president. If they decide to keep printing more money, the great thing is the gold and silver prices go up. For those of you who already invested in gold and silver, you've already seen the last year where you've seen it double in price in the last year or so. It's been pretty awesome. Now, I don't count on this to make me rich, but it's a great way to have an inflation hedge, right? Because if they keep printing more money, they keep doing that kind of stuff, gold and silver goes up over time. And so we actually keep literally physical gold and silver. We don't buy the paper stuff that a financial advisor might offer you. No, I buy the tangible, real stuff. And you don't have to store it on your own property. You can actually store it with other third parties that have nice, secure locations to store your gold and silver. But a great way to help really store and build your wealth in a safe way. I'll tell you this though, it doesn't cash flow like some of these other investments I mentioned. So as a warning, I don't use this for cash flowing. I use this simply to protect and grow my wealth. Now the 8th thing, now these last 2, hang on here because these are my 2 favorite investments, okay? This 8th one is my business, your own business. And I'll tell you, my business has been the case for me. I'll tell you this, the best way to create more income now is not just creating passive income, it's how do you create active income? Now, you could be an entrepreneur like I am, where you have your own business, or you could be an intrapreneur, where you work inside somebody else's business. The biggest thing is this, stop asking, how do I make more money in my business? But instead ask, how do I create more value? How do I solve problems and serve the people that pay me in a way that money is just a natural consequence of it? It's a natural byproduct. I literally just get more money because I create more value for those people. Once I started asking that question, how do I create the win-win for people? How do I create more value? How do I solve problems that they have problems that they're trying to have solved? How can I uniquely do that in a way that nobody else can? When I started to ask these kind of questions, I made more money. And guess where that money can go? To invest in those things I just mentioned earlier, right? That's the great thing, is that really your business should be your number one investment if you're a business owner. It should be your number one investment, but it doesn't have to be your only investment. So really drive and grow that business, but don't always just keep reinvesting money in your business. Instead, take some of those profits and then invest in some of these other things like I mentioned, like in real estate, where you can create multiple streams of passive income. The 9th and final one here, this is the one that has made me the most money. Now, business was a close one. These were really close together, but ultimately, how do I make more money in business? It's through my network and the things I learned, my education, my training. That's what it really comes to. And I'm not just talking about your education, like getting an MBA or whatever, although that could help. But what I'm talking about is what's the education do to continue your education? How do you grow and improve? I mean, I've gone to Masterminds, and when I go there, it's like having multiple coaches, people with different areas of focus and expertise. If I have a specific problem, I know I can go to that person and say, hey, listen, you specialize in this, help me out here with this. Hey, you know what? You do this. Help me out with this. And then I can get different education and training, things like that. Even training that helps me with my mind, helps me overcome some of those emotional or some of those limiting beliefs or blocks that I've had to let me take to another level. I just went to a mastermind recently where they called me out. They even said, Chris, should you even be the CEO of your company? Maybe you should step down. Maybe you should just be doing videos and not be the one leading the company. Now, I chose to lead the company anyways, but it was great to be able to have that feedback and really help me break past the limiting beliefs and to take my wealth and my income to whole another level. Oh, these 9 investments have absolutely changed my life, and I want that to happen for you too. So check out this next video to see how you can actually start generating passive income today.